David in the chat with the question of the day. Why did the Cowboys line move 2 full points? That and so many other questions will be answered over the course of the next 45 to 60 minutes because we are so glad and pleased and grateful that you are here with us. This is Early Edge Live. We're here every single Sunday at noon Eastern time. We'll break down the 7 1 o'clock games, the 4 o'clock games as we get into week 14 of the NFL. We can see the playoffs on the horizon. It has never been more important than right here and right now. I need you to do me a favor. If you're in the chat, thank you so much. We're completely interactive. If you have a prop that you would like to get to in the game we're talking about, drop it into the chat and also leave the juice at your book so my guys know it's very, very, very important. Also, smash that like button for us. It's incredibly important to the growth of the show and for our algorithm on the show. Now, with that being said, let's bring in my stars. And you know that on the noon version of Early Edge Live, I can bring in my heavy hitters. Let's start with our OG. He was here from day one. M Squared. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Good afternoon, Coach. Doing well. Good to see you, AB. Alex, fired up for the slate. I've said it the last couple of weeks, but I think there's some awesome matchups on this slate. Starting with the Kansas City Chiefs, I love watching them, obviously. It's great to have them on a main slate and not in a primetime spot. I like that. I know that's fun in primetime, but I like to sweat the other primetime games more, and it's a little harder when the Chiefs are playing there. So love this slate. Fired up. Let's do it.
There is no – I agree with you 100% on that. Now, M Squared, he lives in the penthouse level. 8 floors below is where we find our man Dial-Up. AB, good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, Coach. M Squared, Prop Stars. Yeah, it's going great here in the janitor's closet, having a great time. Ready for the slate of games today, man.
And also, from parts unknown, Prop Stars. Good afternoon, Alex.
What's good, Coach? Mikey, AB, great to see you. I'm with Mikey. This is a awesome slate. I also can't believe it's already week 14. This season has flown by.
It is December 12th already. Can you believe that we are less than 2 weeks away from the Christmas holidays for those of you who celebrate the Christmas holidays? So we're always having new fans here at the show. We're growing every single time. So for those of you who are brand new, here's how we do this show. We give our best bets at the top of the show, and then we dive into every single game and break it down and also tell you where we are as a SportsLine family in every single game. So we got you top to bottom. So let's jump right in. Mikey, I know you're very, very busy. You got DFS going on. You got your picks going on. So I want to start with you. What do you got for us today?
Yeah, I got a whole lot of picks here this week. Ravens plus 2.5. You can get this one still at plus 2.5 or plus 3 at the minus 20 price. I personally still like the plus 2.5, but not going to fault you at all if you want to play plus 3 at minus 120. Must-win spot for them. I like this spot. Both defenses are a little banged up. The Cleveland offensive line is banged up. Lamar, they still are competitive in most of these games when he hasn't played well at all. Based on everything I'm seeing here, I expect Lamar to run the football a little bit more, keep them in this game. It's just one where it should be a pick 'em. Neither team should be favored here. So getting any amount of points with the Ravens is the right move, in my opinion. Second place, Saints minus 5. This one's up to about 5.5. A little surprised we haven't seen it move to 6, but it makes sense. Mark Ingram was a surprise, ruled out during the middle of the week. Didn't move the line back the other way. Alvin Kamara is back and healthy. Expect a heavy dose of him and Taysom Hill on the ground in this game. This Jets defense is just not good. The Saints defense is elite. It's just anything under a touchdown here is a gift, in my opinion. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, minus 3, played this one early in the week. I think it's probably 3.5, most places in the market right now. The simulation edge would tell you could still play it. I had this one minus 5.9. I obviously like it at 3, a lot better than 3.5 still is the key number, but great spot for Tampa Bay. Next play, I have the 49ers plus 1. This one's a big mover of the week. We actually talked about it with RJ on the Tuesday mega preview, which I recommend you guys all watch, by the way, because this is exactly what we said would happen here. This one's moved a full 3 points. They're now minus 2-point favorites as Deebo Samuel has been back in the lineup here. Didn't get a lot of practice in, but they're going to use him. They're going to play him. Another team that's got to win this game. Another team that's record is better than they're a better team than the record indicates. Joe Burrow on the other side dealing with a little bit of an injury on the throwing hand. Something to monitor there. My 2 teasers, one of them you cannot play anymore, which is the 49ers. I had them plus 1, teased them to plus 7. Can't really recommend it now as they are -2. Teasing that to +4 is not something that I would recommend. But on the other one, the Saints and the Ravens, you can mostly still get there on that one. I don't have any problem teasing through 0 on the Saints in this particular spot. And then the Ravens, you can get at 8.5 or +9 now if you're still finding the +3s in the market.
For those of you who are new, the last 2 minutes of your life, that is why you come to this show, because we have plays that we can play. We have plays that we gave out on Tuesday that you have to watch that hour to get those numbers. You heard Mikey just talk about it. We say this is what's going to happen, and more times than not, that's exactly what happens. So, Mikey, thank you very much for those amazing plays from all week long. And if you're looking at it going, wait, are all those from today? No, we do shows all week long, and then we culminate it on Sundays. All right, up next, because he has a plethora. He is the star of our Friday props only show at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And by the way, if you watched it this week, you got all the numbers. Why? Because we moved his award-winning article to Saturday. And Alex, that made a big-time difference, did it not?
It did indeed, Coach. Yeah. So the viewers of the program on Friday, our prop extravaganza, 2 o'clock Eastern, got to get the same numbers as us. So that was really awesome to see. We saw all that interaction in chat. Everybody really excited about that. So I was obviously very happy as well. So yeah, I will run through the 5 props that I have. First up is CeeDee Lamb over 69.5 receiving yards. I've been talking about this a lot with a healthy Michael Gallup and Amari Cooper both playing on the outside. That's kicked CeeDee Lamb inside, where he is playing primarily out of the slot, where he is just a matchup nightmare for opposing defenses and opposing slot cornerbacks. So yeah, I really like CeeDee Lamb over 69.5 yards. I play that up to around 73.5 yards. Next up is Marquise Hollywood Brown over 52.5 yards. Yeah, I've been very encouraged by Marquise Brown's target share. He's also gone over this number in 8 of 11 games this season. He is averaging 11 plus targets per game over his last 5 games. That is a massive target share, and what you don't traditionally see a high volume passing offense with Baltimore. But yeah, this guy is certainly getting the targets. I also have read a lot about the Ravens wanting to play more up tempo this week versus Cleveland. So yeah, it would not surprise me again to see him flirt with double digit targets. And if that's the case, I think 52 yards is way closer to his floor than it is his ceiling. So really like Hollywood Brown. Next up, Kyle Pitts, under 49.5 receiving yards. Yeah, Pitts has been held under this total in 3 of the last 4 games. There's a reason why rookie tight ends typically struggle making the adjustment to the NFL. There's a lot put on their plate, whether it's blocking assignments, and it's just a lot to ask for a rookie, not only to be a rookie tight end, but also to essentially serve as the number 1 receiver for this Falcons offense. We're seeing Pitts kind of go through, just some rookie struggles here, which I think is going to continue versus a Carolina defense that is elite covering opposing tight ends in particular. I also believe Stephon Gilmore, who has been exceptional since returning from the PUP list, is going to shadow Kyle Pitts. That's what happened 2 weeks ago, and he totally shut Pitts down. So I'm expecting a similar game plan today. That's why I like fading Kyle Pitts under 49.5 receiving yards. Next up is Byron Pringle. Once you pop, you can't stop, my man. Over 23.5 receiving yards. He is basically playing as a full-time player in this Kansas City offense. Besides Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, he is on the field more than any other wide receiver or tight end. If you can tell me that you can get a piece of this Kansas City offense under 25 yards that's playing as much as he is playing, I just think that's a great spot to back him. I have a big edge as far as my projections are concerned, up to 36 yards. So yeah, I really like backing Byron Pringle this week. And last but not least is Chuba Hubbard under 79 rushing and receiving yards. That is a combination prop, rushing and receiving yards. So yeah, as far as Carolina is concerned, that offense is a mess, whether it's Cam back there, PJ Walker. We've also seen Amir Abdullah play almost half the snaps since Christian McCaffrey went down. I think that's going to continue to be a trend. I think they're going to continue to split both backs. So yeah, I just think this number came in about 10 to 15 yards too high. So yeah, I am fading Chuba Hubbard under 79.5 rushing and receiving yards.
It just brings so much joy to my heart to see all these people in the chat that are so happy because they got this number, all these numbers on Friday when you gave them out as well. when you see something work, it's very, very gratifying at the show. Quick question so I don't forget. Alex, Swain over 10.5 yards on his longest reception, minus 120. Little bonus pick right now.
Mikey is actually the Freddie Swain expert, so I would actually defer to Mikey if he has a take on this.
Mikey?
Yeah, so the take on it would be you hope you get it early in the game, potentially, because this one, the game script could get away from them in the second half. I do like it, though, just because I would play that before some of the yardage, like his receiving yardage prop, but it is kind of fragile. On paper, it's a great spot, and the number probably should be closer to 13, 14 yards, but it's just one of those spots where they might have such a big edge here, especially relying on the defense. I know their defense hasn't been great, but it is just a ridiculous matchup for them that if it doesn't come in the first half of this game, you may not have the opportunities in the second half.
All right, great analysis. Reed says, love the prop show. Reed, thank you very much. We love the prop show, too. Thank you, Mikey. All right, AB, I know you've got, 3 big plays today. Also, you had a play from our daily show as well. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Coach. All right, yeah, first one, we're going to go Cowboys. We got it at -4. The line's obviously moved to 6.5, but you look at what Dallas has done. Really, 2 spots for Dak Prescott have been massive for him. One, coming off of extended rest. In his career, he's 10-2 against the spread. On rest, 2-0 against the spread this season, and also against NFC East opponents. Here's a nugget for you, your Chick-fil-A nugget of the day. Dak Prescott in his NFL career has a better winning percentage against divisional opponents than Peyton Manning had, and Peyton Manning ran all over the AFC South in his career at 78% for Dak. Peyton Manning at 76%. Also, Dak Prescott 19-7-1 against his spread in his career against NFC East opponents. Next, we're going to go Bucks -3. You take a look, really, Buffalo is a tough team to cap because it seems like they either win by 30 or lose by 30. But here's the deal with them. They're 1-4 straight up against teams with a winning record, right? They remind me of the Rams very much. And you look at Tampa Bay, they're 5-0 straight up this season at home. The last 4 games at home, they've won by 20-plus points or more. Oh. And in fact, they haven't lost at home since before the Super Bowl. All right. Tom Brady told Peyton Manning on that Manning cast, he broke it down. He said, look, he goes, once I got out of New England, the weather affects me. He goes, and I love playing in Tampa because it's warm and nice. So we're going to go with the Bucks -3 there. Our last play, we're going to go Tyler Lockett, Seahawks wide receiver, longest reception over 22.5 yards. They're playing against the lowly Texans today and Davis Mills. I think the Seahawks are going to get a few extra drives out of this game. And you look at Tyler Lockett, he's gained 25% of Seattle's scrimmage entire yards this season. Lockett's averaging 15.5 yards per reception, and the Texans, they allow 11.6 yards per reception this year, which is 8th most in the NFL. Yeah, Tyler Lockett over 22.5.
My man Scott said in the chat, AB asleep with his eyes open like high school math class.
Oh, that's absolutely correct. Yeah, in terms of school. Yeah.
Joey says, I meant for Washington. What about this movement? Don't worry, Joe. You know we're going to get into every single, and I know you're talking to somebody else in the chat. We're going to get into every single game right now. We're going to hit on that Cowboys-Washington game and why the massive movement as well. A few of you are a little late to the party. That's okay. You apologize, and you don't even need to apologize. Just thanks for coming. I see who just got in here. Dan, a few minutes late, Coach. What's good, my brother? What's good with you, Dan? Thanks for hanging out with us. All right, let's get into every single game on the board. 7 early, 4 at 4, and then, of course, Sunday Night Football tonight that we'll get into at 7:20 Eastern Time, the Bears and the Packers. So our first game, and you heard Mikey just talk about it. It's kind of nice to have the Chiefs in the afternoon, not in a primetime game, not in a featured spot. They are home today, playing a West Coast team. That's a big deal. West Coast time team. The Raiders, 9.5 is the total. 48 is the number. Here's where we stand as a show. Micah Roberts is on the Raiders +10. RJ White is on the Raiders +9.5. And then, Alex, let's start with you because you have a play in this game. So start the discussion.
Yeah, I do indeed. That is Byron Pringle over 23.5 receiving yards. I'm going back to the well with Pringle. We missed on him last week, but I was actually really encouraged with what I saw. He was 3rd on the team in targets, only behind Tyreek and Kelsey. That also makes sense because besides Tyreek and Kelsey, he is on the field more than any other skill position player. He's become close to a full-time player in this offense as there is besides those two alpha guys. Finished third on the team with targets with 4 in a slow game against Denver. Mahomes only finished with 29 passing attempts. I expect more volume this week against the Raiders. They should also push Kansas City a bit more. I think they'll play faster. I also saw Mahomes miss Pringle on a few easy throws. He was making some crazy sidearm throws where he really didn't have to do that at all. So, yeah, I was encouraged with what I saw. He played 41 snaps. He outsnapped DeMarcus Robinson, who had 31, and McCole Hardman, who had only 9, who has become just a complete afterthought in this Kansas City offense. So, yeah, Pringle is running a route on pretty much every single Mahomes drop back. And if you can find a player under 25 yards in this offense who is running that many routes with Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, I'm buying a piece of that, even though we missed it last week. Because, I think that was a absolute floor game. I haven't projected over 36 yards, which is a nice edge, especially on a 23.5 yard receiving prop. So, I'm buying back Brian Pringle over 23.5 yards. I think it's a great spot. I'd play it up to probably 25.5 yards.
Perfect. I love it. AB, what do you got?
Yeah, I want to go back to that Week 10 matchup between the Raiders and the Chiefs and understand this. The script offensively that the Chiefs put together was glorious in terms of Patrick Mahomes. Check this out. 30% of his entire passes in that game were behind the line of scrimmage. Highest rate in a game all season. Understand how successful that it was. Mahomes threw for 105 yards on passes with negative air yards, okay, with 13 completions. So if they go back to that again, all right, look for yak, look for a lot of completions. Insane. Like you never see that. So I'm interested to see if they go back to that again.
I love those nuggets on a Sunday afternoon. We normally don't get Chick-fil-A nuggets on a Sunday afternoon. Mikey, chat question. Kelsey's numbers come way down the last few weeks because of, I guess, game script, trends, whatever you want to call it. But 76.5 is his number, currently minus 115. Your thoughts, Mikey?
I don't mind it. I think that we know the targets are going there. Like, it's a classic case of I don't love the over, but I'm certainly not playing the under on it. I'm not playing Travis Kelce unders here personally. The targets are very concentrated here between him, Tyreek, and then Byron Pringle is clearly past Mecole Hardman. It's those 3 guys. My issue is Alex and I, we actually bet a Clyde Edwards-Helaire under rushing prop, and we ended up winning it, but it got a lot closer than anticipated. They are giving him carries, and they are going to use him. And with Williams in there, I just worry about it a little bit. So classic case for me where, like, I lean over, my head wants to go over. I don't have the edge required to go over, but there's 0% chance I'm playing the under on it because if the game remains competitive at all, like, we're looking at a classic 40-yard drive easily for Travis Kelce in this game. So I know it doesn't help you much other than to say I'm not playing it, but if you ask my opinion of it, I would say it's fine to lean to the over. Do not play the under.
Okay. AB?
Yeah, I just want to say really quickly, M squared obviously correct. In regards to the Raiders, they allow 67.8 receiving yards per game to tight ends, which is the most in the NFL. So, yeah, that might help you there.
Hell yeah, it does. Alex, let me come to you. Chat question. Edwards-Helaire over 19.5 receiving yards, minus 117.
Yeah, I would not play that personally. I'd be looking more towards the mentor, Darrell Williams. He gets primarily the majority of the 2-minute drill and any obvious passing downs like third down. So, yeah, Williams is the preferred receiving back. AB did mention that Mahomes does like to, throw behind the line of scrimmage and target his running backs a lot. But, yeah, if Edwards-Helaire had that type of work built into his workload, then I'd back it. But, yeah, considering that Williams is getting primarily all the receiving work, all the hurry-up offense, all the 2-minute drill work, yeah, I'd prefer to ride with him if you're looking at receiving props for running backs.
All right, very good. Oh, that's really tasty how we sink our stuff into the first game of the day. By the way, my man Vance in the chat says, I just got my early edge hoodie. The thing is fire. Thanks again. All we ask, Vance, is that you take a picture, post it on Twitter, and we'll blow it up for you. We want to see you in it. Let's go. All right, game number 2. And I believe one of the geniuses on my panel said the Saints have an elite defense. They're laying 5.5 on the road in New Jersey against the Jets, a total of 42.5. Here's where we stand as a team at SportsLine on the early edge. RJ White is on the Saints, also minus 5.5. Mikey has 2 plays, so Mikey, I'm coming to you to start. What do you got?
Yeah, on the Saints, -5 here. Have them in the teasers with the Baltimore Ravens as well. So you're going to get Saints +1, and you're going to have the Ravens up to 8.5 or 9. But like I said earlier, there's a massive mismatch in terms of defense here. The Saints defense is legit. This Jets team, I expect them to struggle. I expect them to take a step or two back. So Wilson looked competent last week. A lot of that has been due to Elijah Moore being incredibly good. He is no longer available to the Jets here. So it's going to be a lot of Jamison Crowder, a lot of Keelan Cole. Yes, they can connect on deep shots there, but having Alvin Kamara back is going to help Taysom Hill a lot. I know they haven't had a ton of chemistry together. However, in this spot where Taysom Hill does have a little bit of an issue with the throwing hand, expect a heavy dose of them on the run. It's a great matchup for them. The Jets run D, I don't expect them to be able to stop the two-headed monster, especially with the threat that Kamara has catching a little bit of the passes out of the backfield. So I lean on the Saints here. I fully expect them to win this game by a touchdown. And while I got it at -5, I would be comfortable playing it still at the -5.5 that's available.
Alex.
Yeah, I like the Saints. I also really like Alvin Kamara this week. No Mark Ingram, no Ty Montgomery. He is back. Kamara almost played last week. Sean Payton had said that had it been a playoff game, he would have been activated. So, yeah, Kamara is fully healthy. He is not going to be seeing many touches because there is not a lot of depth behind him in that New Orleans backfield. We saw early in the season, in the first 6 or 7 weeks, he was getting 20-plus carries a game. Now I think that's going to be the case today. I think they're going to ride Kamara hard. Plus, this Jets defense ranks the worst defense in the NFL, in DVOA, both rushing and passing. This Jets defense is historically bad. They cannot stop anyone. So I'm expecting a very, very heavy dose of Kamara. I like a lot of his props today as well.
AB, let me ask you this. What about the total here? It's one thing we've hit props, we've hit the side, but with the Jets defense being so bad, and we know the Jets can score, 42.5 seems kind of low.
Yeah, it does. And I'll tell you this. If you look at the last 4 games for the New Orleans Saints, they've given the ball away 10 times. Okay, so you do have an opportunity here for some short fields on both sides of the ball. So if you could get the Jets with opportunities to put points in, as well as we know the Saints are going to put points on the board as well, yeah, they could smash this.
Real quick, I need to go backward for a second. Mikey, I got to come to you. I know you're busy. But everybody now, you mentioned Edwards-Helaire. You guys were talking about him. His rushing number is 58.5. And with everything you said, would we even want to touch that side of the fence?
Let me see where my number is. I have it at 60.1. Okay. Not enough for me to play it, but you can lean over there. I think there's also maybe a sports book out there that is boosting that number, which I think is why we're getting some of those questions on it. But you can lean towards the over if you want to. The edge for me is not big enough to play it. But I think it's mostly appropriate on the line.
Okay, very good. Anybody like Moses says Kamara 2 touchdowns plus 420. Well, that might be a fun bet to make today. We'll see. I don't like betting anything on Kamara because you just don't know how healthy he's going to be. He could go out, on any given play. I don't like that at all. Chat question, though. Kamara rushing 69.5. Alex, you said you like Kamara today. Would you like that?
I do like that. Okay. Yeah, I do like that. Definitely lean over on it. I haven't projected for in the low 80s, so that's a decent edge there as well. I gave the play out on a very separate appearance at 66.5. Comfortable playing it up to 70.5. Yeah, I think he's going to get 20-plus touches today.
Whoa. You're on a different show than this one? What? What?
My alter ego is, Coach.
Blasphemy, I say. All right, game number 3 at 1 o'clock looks like this. The Jags and the Titans. And AB, there is a whole lot of drama going on down in Jacksonville. How do they go on the road and even concentrate? Titans are laying 8.5. The total sitting at 44. We only have one play. That's Mike Tierney. Damn it. Sorry, Mike. He's laying the Titans 8.5. But AB, you live in Nashville. Talk to me.
Yep. So you look at the Jaguars, they're a mess right now. There are reports that came out this week of Urban Meyer getting in a fight with his assistant coaches. Okay, he even said that he's a winner, they're losers, that they need to figure this thing out. It's just a disaster. Now, I'll also say this. Trevor Lawrence, here's another nugget for you for the day. Trevor Lawrence, he's thrown one touchdown pass since Halloween. One. All right. And they're going on the road. Yep, one. And they're going to Tennessee, to which Tennessee's coming off a bye week, all right? And historically, Mike Vrabel with the Titans coming off a bye. He's 3-0 straight up, 3-0 against the spread, and he's won all three of those by 14 points or more. And if you look at this Tennessee team, they've been historically banged up the last 3 to 4 weeks. They're getting Julio Jones back. Quite frankly, this is the healthiest Julio Jones has been all season. First time he's practiced all week leading up to the game. So there's a little bit of nervousness with an 8.5-point number in terms of this Tennessee team and what they look like after the bye. But this offense could be strong. And you look at the defense, they might have their way with Trevor today.
Hold on, Alex. I got to read a quick quote from Timothy. He says, never had my comment highlighted. Let's effing go. Mortgage put on Kamara rushing. Nah. I wouldn't go that far, but hey, Timothy, you're welcome. Alex, what do you got?
Yeah, AB mentioned Julio being back in the lineup today, also being healthy. I like Julio a lot today. I was hoping to get his prop out on this show. Unfortunately, I think it opened at 48.5. It was up to close to 55.5, which was a little bit too much movement for me. But yeah, I placed a bet at 50.5. If you can still find Julio under 53.5, I think he's a very solid bet today. He's going to get a massive target share in that Titans offense. Yeah, I'm excited to see a healthy Julio.
Now, I know you're on another show, but I don't think you bring the heart that you bring when you're on this show. I just see it coming out of your veins. This is home for you. This is home, where Coach. This is home, damn it. All right, let's go to game number 4. And this is going to be, as my old colleague, good old JR used to say, a slobber knocker. Ravens on the road in Cleveland to face the Browns. The Browns are laying 2.5. Total at 43.5. Here's where we stand as a show. Larry, the maestro, on paternity leave. He's still putting in picks. That's classic maestro, isn't it? He's on the Browns. He wants to play the money line, though, minus 150. He wants no part of the points because this just screams 17-16, 18-17, something like that. But then, Mikey, I'm coming to you because you are heavily invested in this game. What do you got?
Yeah, heavily invested here. Must-win game for the Baltimore Ravens. And both of these teams are beat up. Both of these teams, one of them, the safety out for the Browns, cornerback out for the Ravens, announced today. Both of them thought that they might play in this game. So they're even more banged up than we thought here. But I like Lamar Jackson here. Despite having all of the turnovers that he's had, they've still been able to keep them competitive in a lot of these games. And that's just simply what they do. They play to the level of the competition. We've seen this in the past. When things aren't going quite as well, they let Lamar run a little bit more. And I think that they are a better football team when Lamar runs. Obviously, it's not sustainable to run him 18 to 20 times every single game of a 17-game season. It's just not going to happen, right? However, in these spots, I expect him to run more. I like the matchups individually for Marquise Brown and Mark Andrews. I expect just high concentration. I expect him to run it a lot like the Chiefs, right? So I think that they're going to have Marquise and Hollywood Brown and Tyreek Hill, Mark Andrews, Travis Kelce. Lamar is going to run a lot more than Patrick Mahomes does, but it's going to be hyper concentrated for those three players on the offensive side. And then for the Browns, losing Conklin on the offensive line cannot really be overstated here. I think it's a really big loss for them, and it changes how they're going to have to operate in this game. So must-win game for the Ravens. We know these games are always competitive here, and I still think that they're the better team, and that's where I'm at on it. I make this game closer to a pick'em.
I love all of that. And a part of me is tempted to play a showdown. And then as quickly as that thought comes into my head, it just goes out the back door because I want no part of you this week, Mikey, period. By the way, John in the chat says, I'm taking the over half a drink that AB is going to take when Alex is doing his dissertation. I love great. all you guys. By the way, Holden, if you're looking for 15 seconds of fame, there's yours. If you want to get banned from the chat, keep it up because it doesn't take me long and I don't play. So there's that. All right, let's get into our next game.
Coach, sorry to interrupt you. Can I jump in real quick on what Mike said?
Of course. I wasn't moving to the next game. I was actually All right. Yes, AB.
No, it's
I was going to say, let's move in there. Oh, wait. I still have a play from Alex in this game, but you didn't allow me to do that.
I know. See, I mess everything up, right? Like, I mean, literally, like I'm no JR, I'm no coach. Like, no, I wanted to say
Go
one
ahead.
thing really quick of what M Squared said in regards to Lamar Jackson and using the run a little bit more. He is spot on. Watch the chess match in this game in regards to Baltimore's offense. If you go back to that Week 12 meeting between the Browns and the Ravens, Lamar Jackson threw 4 interceptions. The reason is because of this. The Browns played cover 3 on 47% of their defensive snaps and cover 4 on 31% of their defensive snaps. So pay attention to when the Browns are in cover 3 or cover 4, because Lamar Jackson this season has thrown 8 of his 13 interceptions to those 2 coverage schemes, which is the most in the NFL. So pay attention to that. And if you see that out of Cleveland and you start seeing Lamar coming out running the ball, that's exactly it. So watch that chess match there.
That's incredible insight from you. And I got to be honest with you, it shocks me a little bit. It just does. But as long as we're talking about Lamar Jackson and we're talking about them throwing the ball, people love to lean towards Hollywood Brown. Alex, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm buying it as well, Coach. I've got Hollywood Brown over 52.5 receiving yards. He's had 52 receiving yards in 8 of 11 games this season. He's got an elite target share. He's compiled 56 targets over his last 5 games. That's good for an average of 11 targets, over 11 targets per game. Marquise Brown is an elite 2.11 yards per route run. He's actually running a bit cold with his yards per target. So not only do I believe this production is sustainable, he's also got a lot more additional upside from here. I think that 52 yards, that line is way closer to his floor than his ceiling. Cleveland has also been vulnerable through the air. They're 21st in passing DVOA. I just think the big games are coming for Brown. I mentioned he's running cold between the weekly floor. He's got the double-digit targets. His role in the passing game, Mike talked about how the targets are very concentrated between him and Mark Andrews. So I am buying in on Hollywood Brown this week, over 52.5 yards. That played up to 55.
And damn it, we're buying in as well. By the way, Mikey, Alex, did you guys know that we were kind of working with a kind of a sex symbol, someone that's up for, I guess, people's top 50 beautiful people? Apparently, according to Molly in the chat, she says AB is not just a pretty face. No. He's brilliant. Whoa, AB, you got your fans.
Well, no. I was going to say this. We've always known Molly is incredibly intelligent, just knows exactly what's going on. So we need to highlight that for sure. These intelligent comments that are coming out. Absolutely.
AB's producing the show here, and he clearly forgot to log out of his other account.
That's hilarious. Molly, though. We love having you. I do a lot of research, and I saw an article the other day that said women make up now almost 50% of the bettors in this country. So why do you think we always say we want everybody? We want you here. Damn it, we want you. We love all of you women that are betting out there. Come join us. Kelsey, you're in charge of everybody, including growing that portion of our audience that we love so much. All right, we got to keep it moving. We're past the bottom of the hour, and the game's starting in less than 30 minutes. We still have a lot more to get to. Now, this one may not, on paper, look like anything. But if you guys know, M Squared continues to educate us. What may look like a dog game, for others, could be an opportunity. So, here's the number. Panthers minus 2.5. Total sitting on 41. RJ, from our mega preview, he's on the under 43 today. Let me, Alex, come back to you because you got 2 plays on this game. Quickly talk to me.
Yeah, I do. I've got Kyle Pitts under 49.5 receiving yards. He's been held under in his last 3 games, 4 of the last 6 games. I talked about it earlier. There's a reason why rookie tight ends kind of always struggle, whether it's a blocking. There's just a lot put on their plate. I'm very bullish on Pitts long term, but he is definitely in the midst of some growing pains and bumps right here. He is just miscast. It's unfair to ask him to be the number 1 receiving option on this Falcons offense. Furthermore, Carolina is a very good defensive team, particularly at covering opposing wide receivers and tight ends. Stephon Gilmore is back off the PUP list. He has performed incredibly well. He has a 90 PFF rating. He shadowed Pitts last time these teams met, completely shut him down. I expect more of that this week. I expect Stephon Gilmore to shadow Kyle Pitts once again. That's why I'm fading him under 49.5 receiving yards. The other play I have is Chuba Hubbard another under. Coach loves unders. 83.5 rushing plus receiving yards. I want to emphasize that is a combination prop, rushing plus receiving yards. Chuba Hubbard is taking over from Christian McCaffrey. But what we've seen recently is he is splitting touches with Amir Abdullah as well. AB is taking his sips while I give my dissertation. So yeah, Chuba Hubbard, he's not even playing much more than 50% of the snaps. This number came in 15 yards too high, in my opinion. He is going to split carries or split touches at least with Amir Abdullah. This number is just too big. I'd play it down to probably 78.5. So yeah, Chuba Hubbard under 83.5 rushing and receiving yards as well.
Alex, on behalf of AB, I would like to apologize because AB started playing a drinking game within your dissertation. That's what he was doing. He's trying to cash tickets from the chat on how many drinks he's going to take while you're giving your picks out. I do kind of like the game, though. I'll be honest with you. I kind of like the game.
I like it, too. I'd like to know the rules so I can,
I'll say this. Yeah, I'll say this. Anytime that you can, kind of work the odds in your favor in a bet, you absolutely do that. Now, I did want to say one thing in regards to what Props was talking about with Kyle Pitts. Excuse me. So he might be absolutely spot on in terms of fading the yardage, but you might want to take a look at the receptions because Kyle Pitts has run more slants this season than any tight end in the NFL. He's run 40 of them, okay? The Carolina Panthers, you look at their film study, they've allowed opponents to complete 79% of passes on slants this season. So his receptions, that might be a play.
Okay, very, very good. Real quick, because we got to move on, but a couple of chat questions I did not get to that are specific to one to Alex. Your Brown prop, I don't know if you said you like the catch prop or not. They were asking over 6 apparently is the number. I don't have the juice on.
Yeah, I'd pass on it at 5.5. It was at 4.5. I'd play it at 4.5. But yeah, if it's moved up to 5.5, I would not play it there.
Okay. Mikey, Jarvis Landry in that Browns game, his number is over 5.5 catches. Again, I don't have the juice. I apologize.
I would lean towards the over there, yes. It's had double-digit targets in the last game, 8 in the game before, but with the tight ends banged up and out here, and what I'm projecting a competitive game with the Ravens side, I would definitely be on the over before the under on Jarvis.
Okay, very good. John said in the chat, it's pretty fun, Coach. You can watch your guys' faces and see it coming with the smirks. I have no idea what you're talking about. Jim says, I'm still laughing about Mike's comment that AB forgot to log out of his other account with the pretty face. And really, you guys are amazing. We love each and every one of you so much. All right, we got to move on to our next game. We still have 6 more games to get to and not a lot of time. This is the game that nobody can figure out. Mikey, I've got to bring you in on this one. Here's where we stand as a show on the Cowboys and Washington. This number started down around 3.5, 4. It's now up to 6.5 Cowboys. Larry is on the Cowboys when it was at 4.5. Micah on Washington at plus 4.5. Zach on the Cowboys minus 4.5. And AB, me and you have a showdown. I believe our number is 4. Correct?
Correct, sir.
That's our number. So, Mikey, explain to me how this number got to 6.5.
Yeah, it comes down to the fact that look, McKissick was ruled out, but the defensive ends, there believe 3 defensive ends now out for the Washington football team. Montez Sweat not going to go. Hill's not going to go. And Smith Williams, all 3 of those guys out on the COVID reserve list. There's no linebacker, Jordan Kunezik. I don't even know how to say his name, but he's out as well. They just hit massive. They were expecting to have 3 of those 4 players available for this game, and they are not. Big deal against this opponent in the division. And then just the fact that the Cowboys, I know Tony Pollard is out, but in terms of the wide receivers, I believe it's the first game that they've had everyone active and healthy since week 1, maybe. With Cooper, Lamb, and Gallup in there. Dalton Schultz is active and healthy. So that's why you're seeing it. It's a little bit of an overreaction. I think that there might have been a tiny bit of market value on the Cowboys when they opened at -4. Line maybe should have been closer to 4.5. But What you're seeing and what you've seen so far is just a reaction to 3 pretty significant COVID exits on the Washington side.
All right, very good. And this is also one of the really 3 big public teams that the public loves to bet on anyway, right? The Cowboys, Steelers, and the Bucs. They'll bet at almost every single number, it seems like. So maybe there's a lot of that going on here. Now, Alex, let me come to you because Mikey mentioned the wide receivers for the Cowboys and the first time they've all been healthy together. But you have a play here. Tell me why the CD Lamb play when they're all now back healthy is still appealing to you.
Yeah, it's actually extra appealing to me because what happens is they're playing Michael Gallup outside, they're playing Amari Cooper outside, and they're moving CeeDee Lamb to the slot receiver position where he is just a matchup nightmare for opposing slot corners and opposing defenses. Just very, very hard to cover. In the limited sample size we've seen with all 3 of these guys healthy and active, he has just been dominant. He's had 20 targets, 13 catches, 183 receiving yards in less than 2 games with these guys, all 3 of them fully healthy. So yeah, he's just a matchup nightmare in my opinion. Washington defense, they rank 30th in passing DVOA. They have really struggled defending opposing number 1 wide receivers. So yeah, I just think this profiles fantastically for CD, and it's just going to be very, very hard to cover outside of the slot.
AB, I would love your take on this one because this is the game that everybody's talking about.
Yep, it is. And I'll say you're exactly right in terms of the wide receivers all being healthy. It's the first time this year. And Amari Cooper brought it up. A Dallas reporter asked him, well, Washington loves to run man press coverage on wide receivers and even did it, against you guys previously. And Amari laughed and said, yeah, do it this time. See what happens. Not going to be good. Washington's going to have to change the way that their secondary plays defense. Also, I'll tell you this. In regards to this game, pay attention to this. Dallas has committed the most penalties this season in the NFL with 96. However, Washington's opponents have only committed 30 offensive penalties this season, which is tied for 30th in the NFL. So pay attention to the penalties early because if it's not being hammered, in terms of penalties on Dallas over and over and over, Dallas could put up some points quick, boy.
It is funny you use the term hammered. Apparently, my man Fayaz T, he got hammered last night. He said, let's effing go. Slept in, hung over as hell, but let's make some money. Everybody, can you tell Fayaz good afternoon? Can you tell Fayaz how nice it is to have him join us 45 minutes late?
What's up, Fayaz?
Hey, hit the pickle juice. Hey, pickle juice. Walk around the house a couple times. You'll be back.
AB does that every morning before we go on live.
You got to get rid of the hangover, baby.
All right, we got to go speed round here. We have less than 15 minutes till the start, and we still have 5 games to get to. So we're going to speed it up. Seahawks laying 9 in Houston. 40.5 is the total as a show. RJ White's on the under here. Matty Severance, the lady killer. He's on the under also when it was at 43.5. Does anybody have a take on this game, or can we just move on? I'm not touching nothing here. No, and no. Let's go. Now, 4 late games at 4 o'clock today. Lions and the Broncos. And RJ White is on the Lions plus 10. There's going to be a lot of emotion here, AB, in this game because of the incredible tragic loss of Demaryius Thomas, the former wide receiver for the Denver Broncos. There's still a lot of people in the organization that either played with him, coached him, or worked with him. So today, laying the 11.5, you never like to factor emotion into it, but I think it's very important today.
Yeah, emotion's definitely going to be there, and what a tragic loss to lose DT like that. Just awful. A heck of a player and even better guy. The tough part for me in this game, in terms of that line, is that we've seen what Denver, the success that they've had on the ground as of late. I think they're going to do that. It's just tough to lay that many points with a team that's going to be looking to limit mistakes from Teddy Bridgewater and a lot of clock running. So, yeah, no play from me, but, yeah, an emotional day in Denver for sure.
Anything that the props-wise, the Broncos this year, Alex, for us, they've been a team you really can't play any props on because you just don't know what they're going to do offensively or at the quarterback position. Anything today, or is this a stay-away props-wise?
Yeah, I'm really interested in Javonte Williams today. Melvin Gordon's status is questionable.
Oh, no. Oh no,
Coach, I'm not gonna lie. I got nervous there for a second. I thought it was me.
I'm back.
He's back. He's back.
Okay,
baby.
good. So yeah, did you guys hear what I said, or was I?
No.
Okay, so yeah,
Start over.
I'm paying very close attention to whether Melvin Gordon is going to be active today. As you guys know, I am one of the biggest Javonte Williams truthers that there is. Mike Boone is inactive today. I think he's on the COVID list. He's the third string running back. If Melvin Gordon is also inactive, we could see an absolutely monstrous workload for Javonte Williams. We saw him go for almost 200 combined rushing and receiving yards versus Coach and Mike's Chiefs last week without Gordon on the field. So, yeah, he could be in line for a monster workload. So I'm going to be paying very close attention to whether or not Gordon is active or inactive. Even if he is active, I do think Javonte has certainly earned a larger role in this backfield. This guy is so dynamic. He ranks in the top 5 in essentially every single rushing metric that there is. So, yeah, I'm looking very closely at Javonte Williams. I think he's going to be the centerpiece of this Denver offense. He has earned that right, and he's been absolutely phenomenal.
And you just answered about 80 questions from the chat with that one take. So thank you very much for that. Let's move on to the next game. Mikey, I'm coming to you. Giants-Chargers. Huge game for LA. They're laying 9. The total is 43 as a show. The Maestro's on the Giants plus 10. Matty Severance is on the Giants plus 10.5. RJ is also on the Giants plus 10.5. This number obviously has come down to 9. What do we make of it here, Mikey?
Yeah, this one's really, really tough. Fortunately for them, they've got Eckler and Mike Williams available. Trying to see where my last simulation number ended up on it. It was definitely a stay away game for me. Let's see. Sorry, guys. I have it minus 10.8, 44.2 as a number on it. So it ended up being a total stay away for me. You want to take some flyers on some props on guys like Josh Palmer. I think that's okay. If the game remains competitive at all, I do expect him to step in more than Jalen Guyton. Guyton is someone who does, I don't expect Guyton's role to change as much. I expect it to be Palmer. But for me, this game actually ended up being a total stay away.
No, okay. Very good. Kelsey said it. Let's continue to hit that like button. If I don't tell you all the time, doesn't mean I don't want you to do it. Every single person watching, if you hit it one time, it helps us so much. So pound that like button for me, then get right back into the chat. All right, let's move on. We got 2 games left and only a few minutes to do it. Alex, we're going to come to you. And then obviously, Mikey, you're heavily invested in this game too. 49ers laying 2 at the Bengals. I want everybody's take because the total's at 49. But we've got a quarterback on one side that has a ripped up pinky. He's going to play in Joe Burrow. Then you got a 49ers team that blew it against Seattle last week. So today as a show, Mike is on the 49ers laying 1.5. RJ is on the 49ers also +1. Alex, from a prop perspective, then Mikey, I'll come to you. Anything in this game you like?
Yeah, there is. I actually gave this out in my weekly column. I'm backing Joe Burrow this week. He wasn't on. He doesn't come into this game with an injury designation, as far as I could tell, and I researched this thoroughly. That pinky is okay and is not really bothering him that much. Furthermore, San Francisco is a team that is stout versus the run, and they are not good versus opposing passing attacks. The Bengals, on the other hand, are a very versatile offense. They're able to basically kind of just exploit whatever the opposing team's weakness is. If they're a good secondary, they will run Joe Mixon down your throat. If they're a good rushing defense, they will let their alpha wide receiver ones kind of, go ham. So this is a clear case to me where the Bengals have an edge against San Francisco's secondary. I expect Joe Burrow to have a big day, to air the ball out a lot. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, CJ Uzomah. He has a ton of weapons. San Francisco has not been good defending the pass. So, yeah, I really like Joe Burrow this week.
Alex, there is nothing like having a man named Big Daddy back up your play right there in the chat. Real talk, Alex. I'm with you. Thank you,
Big Daddy. Let's get it.
Big Daddy, let's get it. Mikey, let me come back to you. You're invested in this game. Tell me why.
Yeah, I mean, basically the misprice. We got 3 points of value out of this one initially. We jumped on 49ers +1. I was pretty confident that Debo was going to be available to play for them. That's basically what happened and moved the market to -2, settling in around -1.5. I tell you, the only way that I would be interested in playing it now at this point is I would actually get on the Bengals side in a teaser. And I would potentially throw that with someone like the Ravens, especially if you could still find a +2 out there and you'll be getting them at +8. The Bengals +8. You compare it with the Ravens +8.5, +9. I think that's going to be a great way to play it. And obviously you could still win the +1 on San Francisco if you have that. So I do expect this game to be competitive that way within a touchdown. So I do like the Bengals in a teaser now that you're getting at least +1.5 to get it at least 7.5. But ideally, if you can find the +2s out there, I think it's a really strong teaser leg at +8.
What about teasing it with Washington up to 12.5?
I don't mind that either. Yeah, I think Washington is in a decent teaser spot now. And then the Ravens, which I like a lot, especially where they're at +3, you could get potentially Bengals +8, Ravens +9, and then Washington football team there at 12.5. So all three decent teaser candidates.
I love it. Bang, bang, bang. All right. So we got one game left. And AB, I'm going to let you start it. And then we're going to get the hell out of here. Enjoy the games this afternoon. Don't forget, we are live again tonight at 7:20 Eastern time, counting down to Sunday Night Football, the Bears and the Packers. This last one should be the game of the day. I want everybody's take on it. Bills and Bucks. 2 months ago, we could have said this is a Super Bowl preview. Now the Bills are just scrambling to be a part of the playoff race. The Bucks are laying 3.5 now. The number continues to go up. The total of 52.5 as a show. Mike is on the Bucks. RJ is on the Bucks. Zach is on the Bills. And I got two guys I'm staring at right now that are also on the Bucks, but I want to know why. AB, start the discussion.
Yep, Tampa Bay at home has just been a nightmare for other teams. They're 5-0 straight up this season. Their last 4 at home, they have won by 20-plus points or more. And I'll also say this. Josh Allen, buddy, Tampa Bay blitzes on 35% of dropbacks this season, which is the third or highest rate in the NFL. And he has not done well at all facing blitzes, a comp of 27th, with worst in the NFL, and yards 26th worst in the NFL. And when that dominant Tampa Bay rush defense doesn't have to worry about your non-existent running game, and they focus right on you, good luck.
Oh, baby. Mikey, talk to me.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's the same thing. My model makes it -5.9. It's a comfortable environment for Tom Brady to play in. So I like it at -3. I liked it a lot better there than 3.5 that you have to lay now, unfortunately. But I think it's the better side. So I think that Buffalo can easily come in and win this game. But for them to do that, they have to play a near perfect football game for them to do it. Whereas the Bucs are a team that they can cover 3 here without playing their perfect football game in this environment. So that's really what it comes down to here. If you watch the early edge this morning, said the same thing about a Villanova basketball team. Same thing for them to win. It's very similar cross sport, but like for the Buffalo Bills to come in and win and cover the spread, they just basically have to play a perfect football game, and they're nowhere near in their top form right now. So I'm willing to bet on them not being in elite form again at this point. And even if they are in elite form, then the game is priced appropriately, in my opinion. So Bucks -3. Again, I make it -5.9 in the Sims.
That is a great take. Great take. Alex, wrap this up for us from a prop perspective. There's a whole bunch of weapons on both sides of the football today, and you got 2 gunslingers at quarterback, but only one has been throwing multiple touchdown passes a game. What's your perspective on that late game?
Yeah, no, I'm expecting a lot of points, a lot of yards, an up and down game between 2 very explosive offenses. I would caution you with this Tampa Bay defense that we were targeting early in the season, who was basically a pass funnel, who was horrendous. We were looking to attack them any way we could. This defense has made a complete turnaround, an incredible 180. They rank in the top 5 in almost every single metric after being in the bottom 5 in the first 7 or 8 weeks of the season. So this is not the same Tampa Bay defense that we saw early on. As far as Tampa Bay is concerned, I'm really buying in on Gronk. He looks like vintage Gronk to me. He looks incredible. He's tapped into the fountain of youth again. So yeah, I am backing Gronk. I think he's set for a really big day. I'm excited to see this game. I'm liking Tampa Bay a lot.
And I'm excited to talk about it tonight on Early Edge Live, the Sunday night edition, to see who was right. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And it should be wrapping up as we come on the air live, so that should be a lot of fun as too. All right, we like to wrap up every single show, give my guys 20 to 30 seconds of what they're most looking forward to today. So, AB, if you can pull up the recap screen, you can look at all of our best bets as we wrap it up. Alex, start us off.
I am looking forward to drinking some pickle juice and doing a couple laps around my living room, like AB mentioned, actually.
AB.
I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to the Kansas City Chiefs. If they lay it on the Raiders today, which we all think they're going to, buddy, that's putting a lot of pressure on a lot of AFC teams. They're playing really good football.
Mikey, bring us home.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Chiefs laying it on the Raiders there, but I'm very interested in this Ravens-Cleveland Browns game. Obviously, I'm heavily invested both here and on the DFS side, but I think it's going to be a heck of a game that determines a lot in the AFC, just like the Kansas City Chiefs potentially winning there. And then the 49ers-Bengals game. I think that one's going to be a fantastic shootout as well.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun. I'm looking forward to all the stuff that you guys just alluded to as well. Again, we'll be live back here at 7:20 Eastern time, but we're only 2 minutes away. So we got one thing left to do, and you all know what that is. Thank you for joining us. Your time means everything to us, and don't think that it doesn't. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these NFL tickets straight to the pay window. For my entire crew, AB, M Squared, Prop Stars, everybody behind the scenes, Kelsey, Noah in the chat, our entire team, the jeweler, our executive producer, puts it all together. This means so much to us. You mean so much to us. Let's have a great day. We'll see you tonight right here on the Early Edge. Good luck.